Ooh, I think we are live. Cool. Hey everyone. Oh, I forgot to turn the music on. Oh, let's not put that in there. Let me turn the stream beats on. And then get started with this. Lo-fi it is. Nice. Okay, cool. Hi everyone. Today we're doing something a little different than normal. Weird. I don't know why that was on there. Oh yeah, doing something a little different than normal. Doing just a resource or reference board build and just hunting for some resources and references in Pinterest. This is just a quick session just to keep one going for the week. I'm just looking for or when I was working on the last project, I realized that I was going to need to build out some more reference and just design work in general for some of the projects I want to work on going forward. So I figured turn this into a stream to get one in this week since I missed yesterday. But yeah, this is not art, hands-on art like I usually do. This is the prep work that I do before I work on a piece. And one of the most important parts also, I do have a reference board that probably will be I can put that on top. Canvas image mode wasn't bottom, yeah. So I do have a reference board. There we go. Cool. A reference board. Use Pure for all my references. I do have a pretty big reference board that I've been building out. I like really massive reference boards that I can kind of go in and just get really specific sections of either certain either electronics or just specific like genres of electronic genres of things, of items or whatever. Like in this case, genres is not the right word, but categories. But yeah, like this case, I have some inductors for like electronic pieces that I built out. You know, some capacitors, some interesting ones that are like not traditional capacitors, and then some more traditional capacitors, just to have things on there to reference. And this is specifically for like electronic hard surface stuff, things like that. Variable capacitors, I think these look cooler. And I do have some knowledge after kind of resource hunting on my own for some other things. I do have some knowledge on what the different pieces actually do now. It's been something I've been working on, try to learn more of. Ooh, can I get my pure ref to go be normal? Cool. Nope. What? Which part didn't like that? Okay. There we go. Weird. Okay. Cool. But yeah, so this is usually what I do beforehand. Build up, go to Pinterest, scour it for something that looks interesting, and then build a board on there, and then from there build a PureRef board. And this one I want to focus on specifically trying to get more. I want to try to focus trying to get more of a some just electronic reference pieces, specifically like connectors. I'm trying to figure out the right way to, or the best way to make some like interesting wires and ports and things like that for one of, I think for the last piece I was working on was like the CyberArm. So I just kind of want to get into that a little bit more. And as I was going through it, realized I was just missing some knowledge on things, just some good visual design reference. So that's all this is just trying to see if we can build that out a little bit more, get something a little bit more planned out than just kind of going in ZBrush and trying different things and not really getting anywhere. So for things like this, where to kind of save one like this, usually what I go is you can find one that looks kind of like what I'm looking for. I do like these wires. I like the design of having these wires with different I guess connectors and pins and that come from different wires. So we have thinner wires that in a more flat kind of almost ribbon like design, and it connects to whatever this connector is here. Then you have these other 3 wires that seem to connect to 3 different pieces there. So I like the idea of having something like that. That is cool to have like a combined wire like that, and it's something I've been trying to work on my own. Some of the engineering things I've been working on. So anyway, so this is cool. I like this. I like the way this looks. Now we get all these other references over here. Um, other images that are similar to this one and Pinterest size. I'm not really sure how it determines this, but basically we go from here, then look for something else in here that kind of fits the vibe, and we'll just keep adding to this connectors board that I just made. And then we just kind of keep going down the rabbit hole until we get something cool at the end, or something we can actually build from. So kind of looking at this, I usually do middle mouse click and just make a new tab, and so I have a huge amount of tabs open at the end of this, just so I don't lose any good ones. But I'll just, so I made a new tab for that. We'll take a look at that. Take a look at this. This one looks kind of cool here. I think these plugs right here look really cool, and I like the thickness of these wires, so interesting. Electrical wires, always really cool. I think this casing on the wires is pretty interesting, so let's go take a look at that. This is more like a wiring inside, like IT wiring, things like that. Might be worth looking at the interfaces there. I do like how the bundles of wires all start to splay out as they connect to whatever interfaces is here, so we'll take that and another thing. Let's see what else we got here. That's kind of cool. Air supply, cool, we'll take that. And this is just the first, like, the Pinterest reference board just gets everything that looks just generally kind of cool, and then from there PureRef gets a condensed version of that. And then if I was making a board that was specifically for like a specific project, or something that's really I guess like the scope of what I wanted was really specific, I would go ahead and make a board, or Pinterest, a new PureRef board that was even more specific and categorized than what the big just general reference board I have is. But let me see. So I do like that. That looks interesting when that connector right there I think is cool. So we took that. A little too far, getting a little further away from what I'm doing. I'm wanting a lot of mechanical stuff, like automotive stuff is actually really cool too. I'm gonna take these. Maybe I like the ports on this. It's a more military style thing. I don't know what this is, but it looks cool, so we'll take that. This one is one that I like. I tried to stay away from someone else's design early on because I feel like it can influence your designs a lot more when you kind of go that route of starting to look at designs that other people have made. So for now, I'm gonna stay away from this. It's cool. I like the way it looks. I think it definitely has a cool design. We may still look at more stuff like that later, but I think for initial just kind of download of items, I want to stay away from things like that just in the beginning, so we can just get some better ideas from real life reference, because once you get into design references, you're already missing, you're skipping that step by going at something that's already been designed and catered to a specific art style, or just whatever they're working on. It's still good to reference, still good to learn from those, but I think it's always good to start from the base real life reference as well, at least in the beginning. Okay, so we got some stuff. I do think I did see some cool power cords up here. I'll take these 3. We'll check it out a little more. Now we have, and you can't see on my capture, but we have essentially we have let me just make sure that kind of working. But yeah, essentially we have a bunch of tabs open already, and it's getting super messy, but it's so we don't lose our spots. But I think I got everything from this one. I already saved it, so we'll go ahead and kill that one and look at this one. Ooh, I cannot see that well with the camera placement. I might need to change that just slightly. Yeah, that's a little better. Is that okay? Does it look okay? Go like this. That gives me slightly more real estate. Oh, man. Okay, hold on. Now I gotta zoom in and make sure that it's still focused. Space, scroll. It's focused enough. It's gonna get real close real quick. There we go, something like that. Feels fine. Okay. But yeah. So cool. Okay. So now that we have this here, or now we have this right here. Let's see. So inertial measurement uses use aircraft added update IMUs using mechanical gyroscopes, yeah, and accelerometers through third generation units. After that, start building some IMUs. So some of the times the cool thing with Pinterest is that you can actually get some cool information on things sometimes, and the cooler part is when it links to like some sort of web page, and then you can go down a real rabbit hole and find just obscure stuff that you wouldn't have found before. But looking at this image a little bit more, and I can kind of pull it up here, things that I'd actually want to borrow from this, it starts to get more pixelated along the edges. So not sure if this is the best quality image. I'm looking at the connectors. I don't think there's anything here that feels really unique or worth taking. The only part I kind of like is this middle piece here where all the wires kind of come into this center circle, but I don't know if that's enough to justify taking it. So we will leave that one for now. Let's see if there's anything else it recommended that's cool. Let's see. So we have more power lines and things like that. I think we have a decent amount of those already. I think I'm take this. Let me see. Check on this one. Let's see what we got in here. Okay, cool. I like these little, looks like copper tubing or something like that. That's kind of interesting. Cool. Ooh, so we might have got a YouTube poll thing. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll figure that out later. Cool, but kind of cool. I'll go ahead and save this one for connectors. I'm okay with this one. I think purely for these pieces here. I like the way these connect. I think that's kind of cool. I do like this high voltage area here. It's interesting. I do like this box it's in as well, and I do like these. I like the multi-pin connectors like these. I don't have it up here right now, but I did get like a military box also that has something similar to this, which I do like a lot. I do like these connectors. So we'll go ahead and keep that one. And let's see if there's anything cooler from here. Case is cool. Not what I'm looking for right now, but kind of cool. These got some good connectors in here. This might have some good stuff. More aerospace connectors, I think, are always cool. This is cool, not a connector, but we might take that for something else. I like this here too. So more things. What is this? Cool case. But it's like just a case though. Not really sure what this is. Did we get any more from it? No. So even when you get stuff like this, the cool part is when you can actually go and using this or the image or whatever, the pin that Pinterest gives you, you can click on sometimes to go to the website it's being pulled from and get more information there. This one looks like it's not much, and all it gives you really is just a little bit here. Interesting. I like parts of this, but not a good enough reference to pull from. This one right here is actually probably a better reference, or this right here if we wanted to pull a case or something like that. But I think the most interesting part that I'm seeing here is this piece right here. This what is it? Looks like a PCB connected to like a ribbon cable. That looks cool. And this PCB right here looks pretty cool too. I think we can do something with that. This is more of a hinge piece, but I think it's kind of cool. I think that this one was kind of, has a cooler, definitely has a cooler link to other references. So I'm kind of liking this over on. This isn't very useful, but some of the other stuff here is. I already have this one somewhere else, but we'll go ahead and put this in connectors also, because I know I know I have that one, but I know I want to use something like that as well. Um, I almost want to make a new one. Let's go ahead and while we're here, AV housing. No, housing's not good. Let's do AV. What's it? It's it called? There's no name for. What's the name for it? Mechanical case. Enclosure chassis. There we go. That's what we do. Chassis is what I want for this. So I'll make that a new board. I like the idea of having just some housings like that, some chassis. We'll keep that one. So chassis, cool. Those will go in there. Not what we're building right now, but building for something else that I probably will use at some point. But the cooler pieces that I do want to look at is this piece right here. I'll pull this one open too. Kind of cool, but I don't think there's anything here significantly useful. This is cool. Kind of cool. Maybe just for that hinge there. I'm gonna put that in chassis actually also. I think just for that hinge, that lever right there, I kind of like. This is a little PCB, nothing too crazy. This I'm gonna probably keep it in mechanical. That's just kind of my general one that I have, but I like that. Looks like a hinge joint, but I like that here, so I'm gonna keep it in mechanical. This we will put in. I think this is also one that. Don't want to do that. Nope, don't want to do that. There you go. Okay, cool. I think this is one that also. This is one that the chassis is probably more interesting than the actual. Where is my thing? Mechanical. All right. Well, screw it. We'll put it in mechanical then, because it doesn't want to get my other one. Okay, what is this? This looks kind of interesting. We will look at that a little bit more. This looks really cool. I don't know what this is, but I like that. Like this. Cool for some buttons. We'll keep that in. Sometimes the boards disappear. You can't always find them. Yeah, I don't know. See, I don't know where the chassis one just went. Let me go to refresh. Let me see if we can get it to pop back up, because I kind of want to put that one in the chassis one as well. There we go. Yeah. Cool. And then these look like they can move connectors. This one, like I said, this one looks pretty cool. I would definitely want to look into this one more. This is a good one for connectors. I like that one. I do like ribbon cables. It's kind of a ribbon cable. Pull that one up. Ooh, I like that a lot. This is gonna be more for chassis also. This is. I'm gonna go for chassis also on this one. I like this interface knob or whatever it is. We'll actually pull that one open too. This is usually what happens. This is how I end up spending hours on Pinterest. Because yeah, it's just you keep going through and finding new things and building up your reference boards and getting new ideas as you go through. And the deeper you get into Pinterest, the weirder it gets and the more fun it gets. I think the references get. That's kind of cool. We'll put that in chassis also. It just got an interesting vibe to it. But yeah, so the main focus on this is kind of connectors and ports. This is a good connector. I want something that I can build. I have like a few ideas for connectors and ports that I want to build for my pieces. And specifically, I have things that I want some major like hero ports that can be used on major items, like a big connections, things like that. And I want some other ones that are like minor ports that are going to be used for bigger connections that are like, more major connections, but not like hero ports. And just connectors and how those connect. And then I also am looking for really high frequency connectors, pieces like that, something that I can make in like ZBrush or Blender, and then make just small, uh, just like small high frequency connectors that I can scatter over the objects and kind of be more just dressing than actual hero pieces or functional pieces, just more for frequency, but something that looks, at least is going to look like when I use it, it looks like it's in the setting and the style that I want. So it's basically building up a toolbox of pieces that I can use in other places, because like if it's something like a hero port, if it's something that's really specific to one item, probably not going to use that more than once. It's going to be something that you design specifically for that piece. But in some of the other more minor ports that are still more important, those might be used in more pieces. Maybe it's like a connection to like a computer that's used throughout the setting, or just if it's a connection from a limb to like an upper limb to a lower limb, there's like a major port there. Maybe not a hero port or enough to warrant a hero port or connector, but something that is still significant and will be seen throughout the setting, and can be reused. And then the minor ports are going to be, or the minor connectors and things like that, might just be little things scattered around that feel in setting, maybe don't have like a, you know, really big use or important use, but something that at least feels right. Cool. I think we've exhausted. I think we're getting a little further away from. Ooh, I like that though. More chassis, because I do want to design. One of the things I've been working on for design for is like a kind of like the data pad equivalent, whatever communicator thing that's used in this setting, and I do want some ideas for that. So I do like the chassis ideas for something like that, and for some of the stuff I'm working on personal projects as well, helping design some of the things that I have already. And I'm gonna put buttons and stuff inside chassis also, because I think that's part of it. This is cool too. Damn it, we're getting way more into chassis now. Okay, all right, let's get out of this one before I get too carried away. Ooh, that's cool too. All right, no, that's cool too. Okay, killing this one. Okay, cool. I like this one. This one's definitely going in the connectors. I like this a lot, and I like ripping connectors. I like these types of connectors a lot. Ooh, does this has a, yes, I believe it does. It has a site we can link to. Okay, these are cool. These are the pieces that I like a lot. But this is cool. I think I like the ribbon design a lot. I think this is really cool. I think these ones that are a little more transparent feel very sci-fi too, and I do like that a lot. We can also pull this up a little bit more. Actually, I need to make sure that this is being seen. Ooh, and I'll make sure I'm not hiding it. My screen too much. Okay, no, you can still see this. Okay, cool. Because I don't have it fully there. But yeah, so I think this material is really cool. I like this material a lot. I like that transparency. I do like the orange transparency, but this is kind of a cool synthetic like material that I like. Make sure this isn't AI though. I always have to check. It's the thing about Pinterest that it does suck. That a lot of stuff is AI now. And the parts over here, I'm like not entirely sure. And these are a bunch of little capacitors and things like that. I think it's okay. We'll see what this site looks like too. Drop pads and smooth stiffeners, transitions on your traces, the vibration positions, keeping failures an option. Okay, well, we'll check out this website too. But go ahead and keep this for now. Because I do like these pieces. I do like, and I feel like it could be AI though. Hard to tell. Little inconsistencies around here, maybe. I do like these little wrench shapes though. We'll keep it for now. It goes in the Pinterest board. We can look into it further. Let's see what they look like. So this is the site that they were on. Let's see what it looks like. This is kind of the cool part too, that you just kind of get to go into random weird sites and see what they have in there. Boom, 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 boom. I'll open up all these, see what anything looks like. I've found a bunch of weird sites for things that I don't even fully understand, but so these are portfolio pieces with any pictures. processes blog. I mean, because this is just basically the design. Technical consultation. Is this AI? Is this dude AI? Niloy Mondo. Hyperloaded PCB layout. Has a master's in computer engineering. CID, CIG plus certified. My approach is driven DFM built to blah blah blah. Alright, well, I was hoping for more pictures in this, but basically they're just a looks like a company that makes PCBs, which is cool. Blog, anything interesting? Ooh, these do look like they might be AI. Yep, AI hardware design. My PCTB Australian to outsource their hardest board. Some of these look like they may be AI. That sucks. Look at post IB2. Let's take a deeper look on this. ESP32, 32D float. That is kind of what ESP32s look like. I have mine right here. I think my breadboard is downstairs because I do have an ESP32 somewhere. I think it's downstairs. My jumper cables. I have my jumper cables right here, and I really can't see this in that lighting. Yeah, jumper cables. And then I have my little bag of starter bag of LEDs and switches and buttons, things like that. But I don't have my ESP32 up here right now. So, but yeah, I mean, this looks kind of legit. This specific one right here. This feels less legit. Interesting stuff though. I mean, the logic's probably okay. Just it probably is AI images, which I don't really love to use. I mean, I don't like to use AI images at all in references, but I'm sure some sneak by. That looks a little AI too. So let me see. AI for high speed signal. I mean, yeah. I mean, like, I feel like if they're writing on AI stuff already, like, I mean, yeah, I mean, like, these don't look like they make 100% sense either. So, yeah, no, this is definitely some AI images, which sucks. That means one of the references I liked is probably AI, but oh well, we'll see. We'll move forward with that anyway. These I feel like are all AI. So yeah, it's the thing with Pinterest now. So much of it is AI. It's hard to get around it. And so much of everything's AI. I mean, like yeah, same thing. Well, it says that they did this though. Man, interesting. That's gotta be. They actually do this? Physical bridge of expert. Embedded copper coins to solve thermal density puzzle in space. I don't know. Weird. Alright, well, whatever. We'll skip past it. Cool. Let me go ahead and move this to the bottom again. Always on bottom. Cool. Alright, we'll keep skipping through this. Mechanical stress management. I mean, this is definitely digital image anyway, but yeah, feels like AI again, especially like that. Like that trace right there is not going anywhere. Yeah. AI images. Control Shift T. Control Shift T, super useful. Sometimes you'll back out of one before you mean to. Control Shift T will open up the tab you just closed. Yeah, I feel like a lot of these are trying to get AI. This is technically, I mean, this is AI also, same company. We could probably just get away from their stuff. Technically though, this is what like a VIA is. Basically just connects traces that are embedded in the plastic of the PCB. It connects them to this one piece over here, so then you can connect a trace out of it. So that is Havia's work. It's still AI generated infographic though, so get rid of that. This one is not. I know this one is an actual piece, and it has a website you can link to, which we can go look at a little bit more after this. This is cool. I like this. This feels, I've been looking for something that feels like a Magic PCB too. This is kind of something interesting. I will look into that a little bit more. This is a quantum chip. I think this is Microsoft's one that they were advertising recently. I think this one is too. It's a quantum chip. These are cool. I have images of these, I think, already somewhere. They are cool. They just are, I feel like a lot of the quantum chips probably look cool to make it just feel like, probably look cooler than they need to be. I know quantum stuff is complicated on the way you handle it. That is cool, but I do feel like the quantum chips they designed, because I don't know how many of them are actually working super well, they make them look a little cooler for more of the I guess, what would you call it, PR than actual, like than, you know, just the technology. But you know, whatever, you got to get funding for it, get people interested. Particle and doubles, yeah. So let's do, this is not cool. All right, well, anytime there's a paywall, you don't use that resource. Quantum evolution. Australian research report, they made a breakthrough in quantum computing, so how's their discovery fit into the race? Oh, supercomputer. Let's check out the site. This one looks worth checking out. I like this. Old circuit boards are really cool. The hand tape circuit boards are super fire. I like those a lot. They definitely have a more like this is a hand taped one also. Hand tape circuit boards definitely have a more organic feeling to them, which I think is really cool. So I do like hand tape circuit boards a lot. Like, this is cool. Take a look at that too. But okay. Let's go see what the site is. What is this? Artist's impression of a phosphorus atom. Red sphere surrounded by electron cloud with arrows showing spin direction coupled to a silicon electron. This is the quantum computing demo. Do we have? It is just purely someone, I guess, reporting it. I thought there was a video. Cool. Quantum evolution looks beautiful, standing in a light-filled laboratory, diversity, blah blah. Tells tales of raindrops converging near the middle of a golden board with tiny openings waiting for a metal start. Silicon. Okay, cool. Oh, this is just quantum computing. Was this silicon? Andrew holds a circuit board that contains a small piece of especially manipulated silicon. That's cool. Okay. Oh dang! Now I gotta feel like I gotta read it a little bit more. Oh, it's so long though. All right, great. We're gonna skim through this article, because this is where the cool stuff is. Sometimes you kind of just gotta go through and get ideas. In Andrea Morello's hand, the future of computing looks beautiful. Standing in a light-filled laboratory in the University of New South Wales, Morello grips a small gold-plated circuit board in his fingertips. Slightly larger than a matchbox, its surface is punctured by a constellation of tiny holes overlaid with white shapes like raindrops running down a window. The tails of the raindrops converge near the middle of the golden board, where a tiny opening is waiting for Morello to insert a small piece of specially manipulated silicon. The sliver of silicon is the same material used to build normal digital computers, but it has been altered at the atomic level. By replacing selected silicon atoms with atoms of phosphorus, Morello and his colleagues, Andrew Duzrak, have taken a step forward in a global race to build a computer using weird laws that govern physical world on the tiniest quantum scale. Let me make sure. How old is this? That would be, man, in school, this is always the bane. 2012, this is a while ago. Okay, so this is outdated. But I always hated when you couldn't find dates on stuff, on articles. So outdated for sure. Quantum computing has probably progressed a decent amount since then. For decades, the theorists have filled books and journals with discussion about what such computers could do by turning those dreams into physical realities, proving a slow process. Using a variety of different technologies, Merlo's team and other scientists around the world are getting closer to building a functional quantum computer. Big strides toward development of quantum computer in the last 2 decades. Blah blah. We keep checking things off. People have said impossible. Blah blah. How do quantum computers work? The computer on your desk works by manipulating ones and zeros. What it means in changing the electrical current. Yep. How in the second half of 20th century, science realized they could add a twist to scenario by using special properties of matter that applies when you get down to the subatomic scale. These first properties is the first of these properties is superposition. Simply put, superposition means the physical systems such as electrons exist in all their theoretical possible states at once. It's only when you measure them that you get a result that corresponds to just one of the possible states. Scientists realized that they could harness this kind of quantum system. Each quantum bit or information or qubit can be both 0 and 1 simultaneously. As you add more and more bits together, the superposition related to exponentially increase the power of your quantum computer. Yeah. Whole idea of quantum computing hinges on the concept of entanglement. Blah blah. It says you change one qubit, it affects the other qubit. That is a new entangled system. That's where power of quantum comes in. Entanglement in quantum computing plays the same role as heat in an engine or electricity in a light bulb. Quantum physics. It's underlying phenomenon you need to understand to build a quantum computer. Cracking codes, designing drugs. As theorists thought more about theoretical quantum computers, they came up with specific problems that they would be ideal for solving. The thing is that you really got is that thing, the thing that there's no you in that at all. The thing that really got the thing that really got the thing moving. Okay, it's a weird phrase. It's a weird way to structure that anyway. Okay. It was in 1994 when a computer scientist called Peter Shor came up with a theoretical algorithm that could be run on a quantum computer if it existed, says Duzrock. Shor's algorithm had the potential to solve a problem at the heart of the systems we use to keep our data secure, called public key encryption. This encryption system relies on conventional computers. Shor figured out quantum computer would be great at solving the problem quickly. Yeah, you can crack so many. You'll be as soon as quantum computing becomes like mainstream, you'll be able to crack so many keys, just because you can hit so many. You can try so many computations really quickly, like exponentially quicker than it is now. Also, one can see the application of quantum computer is something that a conventional computer simply couldn't do in a useful time. Quantum computers do ideal code cracking. Okay, let's say the number of those situations quantum computer will outperform your iPad is currently small. There's a handful at the moment, but a couple of them happen to quite important implications. Blah blah. It seems that once. Okay, whatever. Okay. Ion trap. This is the part that's the science. Under the right experimental conditions, the ion crystal spontaneously forms this nearly perfect triangular lattice structure. So much for the theory. When it comes to building actual quantum computer, science have had to overcome major practical hurdles. Yet, crucially, they need to find new things to use, as qubits can be isolated from the world around them. They then needed to develop means of having their qubits interact with each other. The first experimental demonstrations of qubits emerged in the 1990s. Using technology that's been around for atomic clocks called ion traps. Ion is an atom. Molecule is positive or negative charge. Scientists found that if they suspended such charged atoms in a vacuum using an electromagnetic field, they could use laser beams to control their internal energy levels to measure them, allowing them to perform operations on basic quantum states. Yeah, ion traps have led the field of quantum computing since the 1990s, partly because ions in a vacuum are well separated from their environment. Earlier this year, blah blah. Okay, let's go back and see what this actually does. Silicon. Andrea Morello holds a circuit board that can contain a small piece of specially manipulated silicon. Ion traps are not the only systems people are exploring in quantum computers. Other approaches developed or conceived since the late 1990s, same thing, include using superconductors, photons, diamonds, nuclear magnetic resonance, and molecules, and many more. Rather than trapping an ion in a vacuum, Morello and Duzrak team are inserting phosphorus atoms in chips of silicon. In a sense, the silicon is like a vacuum because we make the silicon very pure, so the only thing that's active are the atoms that we deliberately put there. So the spin of an electron orbiting the phosphorus serves as a qubit. In 2010, the same group of researchers showed that they could measure the spin of a single phosphorus electron, which was controlling the flow of electrons in a nearby circuit. Now, research reported In today's issue of Nature, they've demonstrated the ability to both read and write information. Cool. That's cool. So, circuit board that contains a small piece of specially manipulated silicon. Cool. Okay, I dig it. Cool. Let me go ahead and put this. I'm gonna go take this. Do I have quantum? Okay, I'm putting this in my reference board. Cool. Old silicon. I do like this idea though. I like this. I wish it was a better picture. It's a little blurry, but I do like this as honestly as a more, if we're gonna take this, if I was gonna use this, I would honestly use it more of a sort of I would say like magic containment system. I like the way that it has this one centerpiece and then all these pieces around it, almost like, I think if I was using this, it would be like trapping. If because the setting I'm working on also has mundane technology like electricity and all that, and also magic technology. I think this is cool for magic. It feels like it's containing something, feels still electronic, like there's something there, but then has a sort of almost organic feeling to it as well. And that the fact that it's centered specifically around something, I think is cool. So we will keep this, and we will put, I almost want to make circuits of the thing. It's not even a connector. Do I want to say PCBs? I'll say chips. AV chips. And I think that'll be cool I think there's a lot of PCBs and different circuit boards and things like that. I think chips works as a general kind of thing, but I think we do get a lot of that as we're looking through things. So I think we can build a board, or build a Pinterest board for specifically that. Ooh, I like that too. Yeah, we'll put it in. Let's look at this while we're here. I love, so these are hand taped boards, which I love. I think they look so weird and so just like wild for something that is an electronic board, PCB, that still functions the same way, but we've been so used to seeing them one way for so long. So I do really like these, and I like the transparent plastic. I think it's such a cool feature on any sort of electronic. Cool. So like this, we pulled this one up already. I'll pull this one up again. Let me see any other cool hand taped boards. This is cool. I don't know what it is. We'll take it. We'll take that. Cool big hand taped board. I do think that people do a lot of cool artistic boards too. Like, I don't think this one doesn't function, but I think it's still, well, I want to say this one wouldn't function, but I mean, theoretically, honestly, well, it actually may not be, like, organic matter like that might actually be, I was gonna say it doesn't really matter because the traces are the only things that matter, and the rest of it's just around is just insulation, the plastic or whatever. But the organics might actually not be insulation. They might actually be a little bit conductive, and that might actually be what messes it up. But that's cool. We'll take that too. Okay, cool. Oh, these are actual chips. I do want to get a microscope and start looking at actual chips, like little chips like this, because they get insane. But they're cool. We'll take chips. Okay, let's just move on. What is this? A bunch of, looks like resistors, and then I mean, these are definitely resistors. These are I don't know. I don't know if those are resistors or capacitors. I don't know. It's a little switch. I actually have one of the pieces I was working on. I think this is it's like a little what do you call it? One of those things that you turn. Rotary sort of thing or whatever. I think that's similar to what this is. I don't know for sure though, but I do have something that I haven't taken apart that does have a big switch on it, and it does connect different terminals based on where it's at. Power in here, ground there. Oh, one of the things with electronics that did surprise me is how mundane ground is. I thought ground, I don't know, electronics I thought had to go somewhere interest or somewhere specific to be used as an electronic, or I don't know, just it was magic. You know, it's a magic when you don't understand it. But ground just kind of just goes into like something, some just a metal piece. Like on a piece that I have, it just literally ground for the whole system just goes into a screw that's on the housing, and that's it. It just got a bunch of wires just route to this one screw, and I was like, what the? I was like, this is this is what ground is, just this one screw. Felt like it needed to be more special than that, but nope. It's literally just stick it in a piece of metal. My friend said that even in like power plants and things like that, since he's an electrical engineer, he's like, yeah, a lot of times they just stick into you know, big sticks in the ground, big metal spikes in the ground, and that's really all it ends up being. This is cool. I don't know what these are. Okay, enough chips. Oh wait, actually, hold on. I saw something that. What is this? Magnetic memory core. This is cool. This is a cool concept. I like this. This is, on its own, nothing too crazy, but magnetic core. But I think like in a, I don't know, from like a world building standpoint or just like a lore standpoint or something, this is a cool idea. Visually, you know, nothing too crazy right now, but I like this idea, and I think stuff like this is what I get ideas to do other things. So we have a site, we're gonna go check it out. I don't know what these are, but if they're related, this might be kind of cool. Let's dig into this, and now we might have to start a new board that's called memory or something like that, because this is a concept I didn't know that existed. And this is, I think this is the coolest part, I think, of this search, is where you end up in finding out ideas that you didn't know existed. Like, what is this? This feels like a concept that I had no idea about. All this right here, which is cool. I didn't know about this, but this is why we gotta figure things out. Let's see. What is this? So what is it called? Magnetic core memory. Magnetic core memory. Let's do woven. Something I did not know about. But yeah, so like a lot of times you have to do this just because you don't even know what is this site? Tumblr? That's crazy. Memory. Hands weaving magnetic core memory. IBM, Poughkeepsie, New York, 1956. Photographed by Ansel Adams. And there's nothing else here. Oh, what's next? This is just a Tumblr page then. Okay, well it's a Tumblr page, that's fine. We'll have to see the validity of this Tumblr page, but okay, so magnetic core memory. Early random access computer memory that uses tiny ferrite rings, toroids, to store binary data. Magnetized clockwise or counterclockwise. Each ring represents a single bit, 1 or 0, strung together on a grid of intersecting wires that dominated computers from the. Okay. Let's go to Reddit. That's kind of a better source, I guess, than AI. I don't know. Yeah, I just pulls from Reddit anyway. Oh, this is cool though. Magnetic woven. This is cool. The idea of woven memory, I think, feels so like magic already. If we're gonna be doing like a magic tech system woven, anything woven or like handcrafted like that feels already kind of magic. So I'm liking this idea. And so it's got, looks like it's just some sort of conductive material. It's got pins on the side that are conductive, and it has those little rings. What are those little rings? In the 70s, working on engineering notable. It's notable more for the sheer desperation of it than slickicity of it. Slickity of it. A sample of magnetic core memory. In the 70s, I worked on a mainframe computer in the Burroughs, which had 19.2k bytes. Yep, 19.2k bytes. That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Of a core memory just like those, two intersecting, two interesting, useful, or otherwise funny things happen because of intrinsic magnetic properties of this boot RAM. We operators could halt the CPUs anytime, shut down the whole shebang and go home. Next morning we turned everything on, tape drives, printers, CPU, and hit continue and resume work exactly where it stopped. Not one instruction was skipped, nor a bit of information lost. With a clock speed of 100 kilohertz, yep, again, we could turn on a portable AM radio close to where the memory core was and tune in until we could literally hear the electromagnetic pulses. That's kind of fire. It's super cool. It was useful because we could stay away from the refrigerated room and listen when the processing was done. Yes, we could identify patterns of sound. That's such a cool concept. I'm gonna go ahead and just in my actual Purif board, I'm just gonna copy this whole comment into the reference board because that's dope. People wrote code to get them to play music. My professor told me the story of a guy's programming a refrigerator-sized early hard drive to have the head go all the way to one side, then back to the other. Ended up rocking back and forth and started walking around. Damn, that's cool. Sounding I remember getting. Wow, that's okay. Interesting. It's easier to shoot by this. Great for mastering a consciousness change. Yeah, so basically, because if it's a magnetic, I need to see a little bit more. Because it basically, I think it holds the state. That's why they could turn it off and on. What's else created software that attempts to force system to bus to create EMI or AM radio band. Also by some programs. I made Cobalt. Apollo missions use these. Memory for guidance on the computer's command module on the lander. It took me a long time. Oh, cool. Stuff took us to the moon. Copper wires wound around tiny magnetized rings, stored memory physically, and reading out the memory actually destroyed it. Oh, crazy. More resistant to radiation than solid state devices, but I don't know for sure. Way more resistant simply because things storing the bits is gigantic compared to transistors on a chip, which hadn't been invented anyway yet. This is super cool. Oh, I'm sure computers have cabinets full of stuff. Let me see. Just to copy a few of these comments because this is stuff I'm gonna have to look into some more. I like this a lot though. I think it's a really cool concept for I think it's just a cool piece of technology in general, but I think this is a cool concept to take into some sort of project too. We'll keep that. See what else we can get from this. Clear reading out RAM required rewriting the same value to that bit because it was erased in the process, which was not an uncommon approach to either. Nothing was getting destroyed here. Oh, cool. The memory in the RAM chip on your cell phone today is no less physical, just a whole lot smaller. That's true. It would retain data even with power off like a thumb drive. Cool. It could be affected by dirt. Some dirt is ferrous. We would occasionally have to clean them physically. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. We could use SOCAR as a non-conducting liquid once a year or so. I remember what liquid was. In fact, the core memory depends on electromagnetism. They use relatively low voltage but fairly high current. This is cool. All right, well, cool. Magnetic core memory. That's definitely something I did not know about. Cool. Let's just Google Images. Don't need that. These are kind of cool though. Hand woven by women. I like all these pictures. We're taking all of them just for the concept, because this is really cool. Core memory, the capacity of 128 bytes. Insane. I mean, you could probably count. I could probably actually math out the bytes in this, because I'm assuming it is actually like at such a small level of data that and byte wise or whatever, that it actually probably is fairly wow, yeah, because these wires are just running through the rings. That's crazy. Yeah. But I'm assuming, yeah, that it's a small enough amount of bytes that you can probably physically count and work out what's going on, because bytes are not that big. This, I've seen this picture before. It's not. Technician weaving the core ropes of the Raytheon plant in suburban Boston. That's super cool though. Ultra wired guidance system. That's cool. We're taking all of this. All of this is cool. This little piece of information, all of this makes it worth, makes this whole little research session worth. I like this a lot. That's not, no, because this works. Ooh. Cannot be found. Dang it, Magnetic Field Laboratory, National High. You're supposed to give us the information. But I know Jack Black's mom also worked on like NASA stuff. I don't, that's not her, but I know there's a picture of her somewhere too, where she was like still coding stuff or something like that for one of the early missions. I don't know. But anyway, cool. This is dope. I like this a lot. I keep seeing this one, and I don't know what it is, but damn it. Okay, let's start a new board. Control Shift T, 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 Control Shift T. Yeah, okay. Let's just start a new board. We're gonna do AV memory. Because I do like the idea of, I've been playing out with the just different ideas on what memory and like storage and stuff like that looks like for data in my setting. I don't know what this is. It's simulated systems in French, Delphi, Paris. I actually don't know what this is, but I like the idea of it looking something like this and something like this. So we're gonna go ahead and just take all this and put it in this this one as well. Yeah. Okay, cool. We have another board. Ooh, this is going in there too. I do like I like discs, I like tapes, things like that. I think it's just a cooler physical way to do designs for things. Feels very tactile, which I like. Cool. All this is cool. We kind of have this already. This can go in there. That's cool. Actually, I'm gonna take this one for my actual reference board too, since I've just been taking all of this anyway. Go. I didn't like that. Okay. Copy image. Image is really small. All right. Well, anyway, going on the reference board. Okay, cool. Well, we're out of magnetic woven memory. I believe I have almost all the images. Damn it. Been doing this lately. PureRef has been getting a little weird with Pinterest sometimes. It isn't always cool. I'm not really sure if it's a Pinterest thing or PureRef thing or something else. What is this? Damn it, let's take another rabbit hole. New meta material switches, handedness on demand. Reality switching structure. Okay. Seems like another rabbit hole to go down. This one is chips. All these hand taped boards, super cool. Crazy to do this by hand. I think it would be cool to try doing some PCBs by hand. Ooh, that's kind of cool. I do like the idea of some of my stuff looking like this. I'm gonna keep this in chips. I have a whole. This is going in chips too. I have a whole lore for stuff like that. I'll keep that in cellular. I do like stuff like that. And we can put you in cellular for now. I like the idea of chips looking like that though too. I think it's super cool to have like really organic looking tech, and not just be like completely copying regular sci-fi tech. Cool nature board. Probably that might be even AI. Not too sold on that. This is cool. Really low quality though. Probably not worth saving because of that. Cool. Okay, nothing too crazy on here. We'll skip past that one. We took that already. Circuit board. We'll do this in chips. Chips. There we go. Was this 1975 circuit board was a masterpiece hidden on your wrist? There have been arguments whether you should design a circuit board with 45-degree corners or 90 degrees. Why make them corners at all? This breathtaking circuit board, it left off. This is cool though. I like this. Let's do it. Let's do a deep dive. Actually, I'm gonna pull this one into chips because I do for PCBs. I do like this the way this one looks. Hand tape boards. This looks like a hand tape board. I don't know actually. Revias. I don't have another. Oh yeah. Okay, let's put it in regular. It just goes in regular PCBs. There is not a structure to this. This one yet in my notes. It's cool though. I like this random little thing right here. It's like a little, almost looks like, I know it's probably not, but it looks like a glass tube. I think it's kind of cool. The Pulsar calculator watch was the first of its kind. Oh, actually, you know what? This is going to go in its own section. If I find something specific, so like this case, Pulsar calculator watch. Calculator watch. I like to put in my notes and put in its own section, just because I think it's easier to go back and check out later. So like in this case, something like this, I would just make an own, it'd still be in the PCB section I have in my notes, but I would just put something there so I can specifically link back to it if I ever need to. I think it's more organized like that, and so I know what I'm pulling from in case I want to find something similar or something like that. But anyway, so 100 years, blah blah. This breathtaking circuit board is from Digital Watch Circuit 1975. This is a cool watch. I kind of would dig having something like that. I do like my the old school Casio, or it's a modern one, but still a little Casio watch. I do like mine, so I would like something like that. It feels retro enough like that. Pulsar calculator watch was the first of its kind. It came along with a stylus to operate the minuscule buttons. That's crazy. The circuit board traces would have been laid out by hand, explaining the gentle curves rather than straight lines. Cool. The chip on board construction is wild. The silicon die bonded directly to those traces on multiple chips in this image. There's also mercury tilt sensor in this model that is liquid then. Oh, this is the little liquid vial of mercury. That's fire. Silicon die bonded directly into those traces, multiple chips. There is also a mercury tilt sensor on this model that would have switched the display off when not being held up to view the time or calculate your tip at the rates. Oh, dope. Yeah, so we turn off when it's cool. So I'm assuming that, I don't know if mercury is conductive. I guess maybe mercury is conductive. So when you tilt it, I'm assuming that if you tilt it down, the mercury goes down to the bottom of this vial right here. And this is just a guess. I don't know. I don't know technology that well, but if I could assume, if I would guess, I would say that when you have it up, the mercury flows and completes this circuit. If mercury is conductive, let me do a little check real quick. Is mercury in retrograde? That's the top one. Is all the top ones are every top suggestion for is Mercury in retrograde? Is Mercury in retrograde right now? Is Mercury Insurance a good company? Oh, well, that's not about astrology. Is Mercury still in retrograde? Is Mercury in retrograde today? Is Mercury tidally locked to the sun? Is Mercury a metal? Is Mercury currently in retrograde? Is Mercury a good credit card? Is Mercury magnetic? Is Mercury conductive to electricity? Yes, Mercury is a conductor of electricity, but is a relatively poor conductor compared to solid metals like copper, silver, or aluminum. Because it stays liquid at room temperature, it is historically useful for fluid electrical connections, tilt switches, and thermostats. That makes sense. So likely it's, yeah, when you have the watch down, depends on which way it's spaced about, but likely when you have the watch down, the mercury is going to be at the bottom here, not completing the circuit, so the watch turns off. When you raise the watch up, it would probably complete the circuit. So this is probably, it's probably like this. So this is probably what it is. So it's like, wait, watch is, it's down. Yeah. So what am I'm hold your watch up like this. Yeah. So it's probably like this, vertical. You hold your watch up like this. Mercury is facing down. Completing the circuit, you hold it down, whatever. It's not completing the circuit, so it turns off. Is how I assume it works, which is kind of that's a cool concept. But I would assume that it's completing the circuit right here between these two terminals or pin terminals connections. I don't know the right term for this stuff. I'm not an electrical engineer. I just know a little bit. I'm a computer scientist. Yeah. There's also a mercury tilt sensor in this, would be cool. We found working models of watch for sale online for $225 to $350. That's cool. That's a steal considering the original list price for these is supposed to be $550. $550 back in 1975 is insane. $2,600 considering inflation. That's insane. The beauty of the PCB artwork is hidden away, not just inside the case, but obscured by the plastic battery housing to which those tabs on the right are soldered. How many geeks are lucky enough to have one of these and never realize the beauty within? You're looking to lock more of these in. This is cool. Site, what is this? Hackaday? What's they got here? Shutter camera makes 3D printed camera special. It's kind of cool. Alright, fuck it. Let's save this. But if I find a good electronics, do I have anything else in here? If I find a good, yeah, we'll save it. If I find a good like website from while I'm researching and searching through, I like to save it to bookmarks and in a category where I can go back and look. I found there's a bunch of weird, like obscure electronic part sites that I have. Let me see if I can pull one up since we're here. I tap the taskbar. I always lose my bookmarks. There we go. Where is bookmarks? There we go. Art and electronics. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. Ooh, there's a bunch. What is this? Oh, this is motorcycle stuff. Panel mounts for Mercury Solutions. Like this one's pretty cool. A bunch of different buttons and stuff like that. What type they are. Things like there's like, what are those things called? You turn them, you know, whatever buttons. But yeah, these are different buttons. Like this is one that has an LED light in it, so it has different connections. These are switches. So most of these are switches. These actually don't have any of those accelerometers, potentiometers. There we go. That's what I was looking for. One of the cool ones I have though, the sites that's super weird. The site that I found. Oh no, please still have it. I'd be super sad if this one's gone. Dang, that sucks. It might be gone. Well, hopefully it's okay. Hopefully maybe it's just off for a little bit. There's this guy's blog, this old guy's blog that I found that he had some really cool stuff from just, it seemed like he was just old school tech, a tech guy. Yeah, here we go. This guy. Yeah, he's just old school tech guy that I happened upon his blog. And he had just cool photos of a bunch of old tech. I think he's worked on a lot of like early early computer science stuff. So it's like at the, you know, pioneering a lot of that early uh house photos. And he also has like his like regular like real life stuff photos too. I want to see if he had some good tech photos that I want to see if we can find somewhere. So the cabbage and he had a lot of stuff too. And just a blog. It was just guy's blog. And it was just really interesting to go through his stuff. And I went through his stuff like a lot to get a lot of the cool photos he has of his old old tech that he built. And he gives a whole breakdown of like the different machines he had, different kits he had, and how he, you know, adjusted the RAM on them. And like the RAM that he's adjusting is also like has to be like, you know, like it was like insanely small amounts also, but it was just super cool to see how much understanding had to go into the tech that he was using too. Where I want to see to select new dates. Where are your thing? Photography pages. Maybe it's that one. Photo index. Photo main page. I don't know. One of those. All right. Well, I'll click on photo main page. It's probably okay. We'll click on that one. Let it just run. But he has some really cool stuff. I don't know if I can find him. But he's a really cool. Going through all his stuff. Anyway, ArtStation. We don't actually like open ArtStation back up in case we need it. But yeah. Anyway, so found his stuff. Was super cool. All right, let's do Greg. Anyway, but go back to anyway stuff. Okay, cool. We have this chip over here. I think I already saved it in here, but I like this one. It looks kind of magic-y already. So we can take that. Cool. All right, nothing else we need from there. This is cool. Taking it. Chips. I think it's more chip than connector. So we are taking that. Boom. We can get rid of the Hackaday for now. This is cool, but we don't need anything else from there. Get rid of that. All right, back to connectors where we started. This has been a very big detour already, but let's see. What do we have here? That's cool. We'll see what that is. Let's see what this is. So what do we have here? We have looks like air canisters, maybe something like that. Capacitors of some type. I'm not too sure. Anything in here, I think like from a distance this looks cool. I think specifically these pieces right here look cool. If I'm going to be, I guess, critical about what I would actually want from here, I mean, like these are just like, those are just how it connects, how whatever these connections are here connect to those terminals that go in to do all this junk here. These are what little wire mounting blocks or whatever they're called, terminal blocks. That just mount just to these. I can't really tell what it's doing besides going into all this stuff. I think this is the coolest part right here, whatever this is. I don't know if that's useful for connectors for me. It's like, is this useful or as a connection point? I think it may be cool because of the wires or whatever these tubes are connecting to, the wires connecting here. But that's about all I would say is cool from this. Whatever. Okay, this is connectors. Like I said, this is Pinterest. This is where we'll be less critical about what we're taking in Pinterest. So maybe we just take it and then we don't have to pull that into our actual, can't see. We'll have to pull that into our actual PureRef board, because that PureRef board becomes more the source of truth. Okay, nothing keeping me too much in here. Maybe we'll just click on this one. Cool. Nothing really super noteworthy here. This one, I know I have this in other things. We'll take it as connector because I do like the connectors. I'm always a big sucker for those multi-pin connectors. I think it's super cool. I'll do this for chassis. I think I always like some good buttons and switches and things like that. Cool. Cool, but probably not useful. More significantly useful than anything we have already. Cool from a chassis standpoint. We'll take that. This looks like a record thing, actually. Interesting. What do you call it? These are oscilloscopes. Oscilloscopes are always cool. I do want to get a good one. I want to get a good one, and I think there's like a this is cool. This feels like something I could do. Do I want to save that for anything? Do I want to save it just because it looks cool? We'll put it in connectors. Just because it looks cool. And it gives a little whimsy to our board too. Because sometimes when you add a little bit of just weird in there, just a little whimsy, a little weird, I don't know, just random items like that, it kind of makes your boards look a little better and have better suggestions because they're not so locked onto one thing. You just got to give it some chaos, I guess, to have it really to have it be a little more useful. What is this? This is interesting. This is AI for sure. Might also be AI. Definitely AI. What's crazy about AI stuff is that it's hard to tell now, and it gets harder and harder to tell what's AI now. But this is cool. But I think it's also crazy that it's crazy that it was already that even when it was fairly easy for a lot, like at least when it was fairly easy for some, at least on my end, to be able to tell. I know it was already a lot of people were already falling for it. But already falling for it. Yeah, and we were already in trouble before it even got to the point it's at now. Because a lot of people don't pay that much attention to things anyway. So it's even in its base form is pretty. Was all it really needed to be. Just convincing enough. Okay. Cool. Well, some cool, interesting things from here. I don't know what this is. We're gonna check on this really quick. Weird. Artsy stuff. I don't know what this is. Colossal Explorer design. Alright, well, this is kind of weird. I don't know what site this is. I like that. I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna hold on to this. Maybe there's something cool here. Weird. Okay, well, hold on to that one. We opened up all these other things too. Let's see what I opened up. Get rid of you. Get rid of you. What is this? Is there anything on this besides this looking weird? I think this just looks weird. Got nothing on this besides it looks a little weird. Interesting. Cool design. What can I put this in? Do I have like a interest? I think I have one that's just interest. Yep. Cool. Interest. That's where it's going. What is this? Isn't it so much prettier than microfluid chip? Isn't it so much prettier on a microfluidic chip? Microfluidic chip. What is this? Cool though. Don't know what this is. Microfluidic chip. We can look at fluidic chip. That's what's spelled probably really wrong. Microfluidic. Microfluidic chip is a small thumb-sized device with a tiny, hair-thin channels that moves, mixes, and tests very small drops of liquid. They also call it a lab on a chip. These chips save time, use very little liquid, and speed up medical chemical tests. Microfluidic chip. Microfluidic chip. Microfluidic chip. Weird. I'm gonna choose a microfluidic chip. What is a microfluidic chip? Microfluidic chips are devices used in microfluidics studies, which microchannels have been molded or patterned. The microchannels form microfluids connect together in different channels from one place to another. The network is connected to the outside environment. Ports, glucose or gas injector, move microfluidic chip. Blah, different molecules allow several functions that require an entire laboratory and micro-sized device. Okay. Diameter specifically designed for application. Materials used in microfluidic chips. Silicon and glass. First used for microfluidic applications. However, technology advances occurred in new materials like polymer sub blah blah. Just into organic solves. This is cool. Making a note in my notes on this is not a PCB, but we're gonna go ahead and just put it in. I guess we're just gonna put it in PCB section and maybe just change PCB to microfluid or to chips or microfluidic chips. Cool. This is cool. I don't know what these are fully used for besides some sort of medical purposes, but I dig it. And we will do some more research on these. And they look cool. I think that's the important part. PMs. How do you choose a microfluidic chip in polymers? Polymer-based microfluidic chips several years after silicon glass. Polymers are promising. Glass is easy access, cheaper, blah blah. There's a choice of oxygen gas permeability. What is microfluidic chip? What are these used for, really? Let me see this. Okay. 10 channels inside a path. The liquid moves in a very neat straight. Lab on a chip saves time. A little liquid. Speed up medical and chemical test. I guess they just get little amounts of liquid. Silicon used for strong tests. Electricity needed. Medical test. Quick test. Checks for diseases or blood tests. Cell study. Watch cells grow. Okay. Mini human organ on a chip. Okay. Cool. Drug making. Test new medicine safely amounts. Tiny amounts of chemicals. Okay. Interesting. I like that. I like that as a concept. We will do microfluidic chip. Yeah, we can go ahead and save some of these chips. AV chips. Nope, we already lost it. Okay. Yep, they disappear. I don't know. The boards disappear sometimes. AV chips. Cool. Cool. Also cool. Microfluidic chips. Interesting. These are cool. I like these a lot. I don't know the use 100% what I would pull this from, but I like these a lot. I think visually they look really cool. Human organs on chips, that concept is really cool already. I like this. This looks cool, but I like Lego like modular components to make building 3D labs on a chip. That's kind of cool. Okay. Ooh, we got some ideas in here. This is crazy. Okay, this is cool. This is something that looks like Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. The Heon lines or whatever. This idea of modular labs, like something's cool. There's something there. Cool. Okay, yeah, there's something there. Like this looks cool. Organ, I think that's probably made up, but whatever. But still, organ and a chip. Like there's something about this that's hidden something. From a design standpoint, I like this a lot. Definitely have to keep exploring this. Okay. But I also I wanted to go back to this one right here. This super low resolution, but I think from a design standpoint of like shape design and almost like circuit design, I guess this is cool. Ooh. chips. Fluidic chips and industry, blah blah. Lies. But yeah. Can I get a bigger fluid junction emulsion mixer? Alright, I'm just gonna take this reference. Yeah, but I think something like this, like just this from a design standpoint, is interesting because it looks chip-like, but it's organic, it's smoother, it kind of tapers off at the edge here, it kind of flows with some like this has almost like a thicker edge. That might just be, you know, a mistake on the I don't know, maybe not, because like it seems like these are thinner and then it gets thicker a little bit. This looks like it's a little thicker, but yeah, I think something about this feeling, it feels more organic in design, but feels like manufactured, like a kind of like, you know, regular chips and PCBs are, but something about this feels more organic, in a way that it still feels manufactured, and I like that a lot. I think that's something I'm definitely looking for in some of the designs for the, you know, tech that's a little more organic in some of its design language. But I was looking for a way to still make it feel electronic, or just to feel sci-fi. You still feel that elevated manufacturing of just like precise. So this is kind of hitting a medium for me, and I like that a lot. So something I will definitely look into more, but for now, we can move forward. So cool. Didn't know about this either. Microfluidics. Cool. I have to look into that. Self-folding. This I believe is like little, same kind of concept little nano machines use. Cool. But anything that I can use from this that looks cool, I'll go ahead and take it. I'll take it in chips. I think maybe some of these little patterns in here, and I like these little circular pieces. Even the traces are kind of cool, and some of this, I'll take it. We can do something with that. I do think that if I want, because one of the things I'm trying to figure out is connection points that are a little different than just like, you know, ports. Even though we haven't gotten to really any ports here. What's this? Cool. Probably nothing that we need. Colossal, we kept that one from earlier. This is purely I don't know what this is. This is purely probably like a mechanical piece. Electromechanical assemblies and sub-assemblies. I don't know. I don't know what this is. A prototype. What is this? What are they selling here? Electromechanical sub-assemblies are custom engineered OEM. CGI's precision components, gearing assembly, testing, precision motion control, fine pitch custom gearing. Cool. I will save it to mechanical for now. Maybe we need something that's a little bit more. I don't need something that's a little bit more. Or I need another section that's a little bit more tailored to like moving gears and pieces like that. But I don't know. That looks cool. I like this little disc thing here. I don't know. I like the way this looks. I don't have much more on that besides it looks cool. And that's all you really need sometimes. Technical submission, precision gearboxes. Request a quote. This is cool. It could be a cool site, but there's sites like this that are more like, ooh, no, maybe not. Cool. We'll take this. Add into electronics. Precision gearboxes. Okay, cool. There's some sites just do like custom work. It's cooler when you have stuff that has like, oh, maybe not. Well, okay, yeah, no. Let me give that one up. Bookmark. We don't need that. Because it's cooler when they have like an actual like list of items and things like that. Like you can actually go to the page and see the different products instead of just being, you know, request a quote or something like that. Cool. Let's go this to chassis. Nope, that's not how you spell that at all. Chassis, cool. That's all weird, just little chassis stuff that I'm cool with taking to get some ideas. This is cool too. We'll take this. These are like camera chassis, which I do almost use for. I can pull it into the new board. There's another board I have. I like that too. I've got that already. That's a cool little buckle. What's this? Cool. What is this? Oops, save it. What is that? I don't know what that is. Oh, that's cool. But I have another design of like a certain like robotic design that I've been working on. But I do want to base it off of like cameras and stuff like that. So I think some of these might be cool for stuff like that. Just quantum torsion. What is this? Torsion 60 limited USP. It's the engineer. I don't know. This is introduced to liquid cooled builds. See, milled aluminum. GPU, something for the computer. Nope, no pictures are loading, so yeah. All right, we'll get on that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Saved it already. We're too much AI from this group. Hard disk. This is a cool for a storage device thing, but so somebody else is designed already, so don't want to pull that just yet. I can pull this though. Storage. That's cool. IBM disk unit. Oh, memory. That's what I called it. That's better. Storage could be its own thing. Cool. All right. That's cool. It's a cool camera too. Too far off the top. All right. Yeah. See. I like that. I don't know what that's cool, but I don't know what section that would go into. It's in there twice. All right, let's say we can do that for not connector. Could be port. Could be a port. And because it could be a port, we're gonna go ahead and go in here. We'll do connector again. Connector. Just because I'm looking at that purely from a point of view of being a port. We'll go ahead and pull that in. Give a little chaos to the board also to help it find cooler things. All right, keep going. This is cool. This is connector for sure. This is connector. Technically, this would actually kind of be could be in chips, but I like these. These are specifically like ribbon cables. So cabling and things like that all going in connectors. Because I do like ribbon cables like this. Was this Johnny Mnemonic? Very much just a random little electronics they threw on. Cool. I'm okay with that. Cool. I like. Let's see. Out of this, I like this one. I like this one. Which one do I like more? I like the little connections on there. I like this. All right, let's do both. It's a digital camera thing. That's interesting. Cool. That's cool. This is like what something that's worth keeping in there for or making it to the main board. This is cool. Oh, dang. Okay. How much time I got? Ooh, don't have much time. This is supposed to be a quick session, but now we just keep going down the rabbit holes. Okay, let's see. So, connectors here. I like these. I think this is from something. I don't know. It says flexible PCB, but it looks almost like a game graphic. It could just be a bad quality, which it might just be. There might just be bad quality around it. Oh, actually, is this a little collage? Oh, yeah, it might be a collage. No, it's just looking at the thing. Okay, well, cool. I dig it. That's cool. What is this? I don't know what that is, but that's more chip. We'll put it in chip. Chip. I can do something with that. Okay, I like this one a lot. This is really cool. I'm pretty sure we already have this in chips, but we'll make sure we save it in there. This is really cool. Or not chips. I wanted this in connectors. It's kind of a chip too, but I like this in connectors. Saved here already. Okay, let's put it in chips then. Screw it, we'll do it in chips. I think this is cool. This is something that definitely feels like it belongs somewhere. It's like a hero piece, or at least more of a focus piece. I like that. Yes. Cool. I mean, I think we're cool with what we have already. I have a lot of those connectors. Don't want to have purely those connectors. I want some real physical connectors too. Anything more interesting? This is cool from, I'll say this is mechanical. This is a cool latching piece. Fastener piece, I guess. I do need to figure out some fasteners too. That's one thing that I don't have in place right now. But I do think fasteners are really important. For a design point of view. Cool. But yeah, I think fasteners are really important to your design language. I think these are all cool. I need to make one just for fasteners. I know I need to do that. But like that's one of the things, like in Star Wars, they're really big about the fasteners. Not allowed to have port. This is connector. Not allowed to have connectors technically. I need to get a better thing. Ooh, cool. Mechanical. Yeah, Star Wars, they don't have like screws. It's kind of one of the design dictionary things. No screws in Star Wars. I forgot that I was using one of these for something. My design for my hand. I need to look at that a little more. But yeah, in Star Wars, no screws, no zippers is one of the other ones. No buttons, I think too. Buckles, I think, are okay. But yeah, like I think rivets and stuff are okay, but no screws, no zippers, no buttons, no laces as much. That's why on shoes, I think as we've kind of got more and more stuff, they get a little looser every time. Ooh, that's dope. I didn't realize that one was over here. My camera was blocking that. I like that. This is cool too. This is cool as a port. I'm gonna keep that a connector. I probably need just for something for ports, but we will get into that more later. But yeah, I think more recent ones that they've yes, port kind of gotten looser as things going on. That just what happens, you know. Port also, but port also. Like no laces were definitely a thing that was not supposed to be in the thing, like things tied like that. And you could have wraps, like leather wraps and like cloth wraps, but I don't think you could have like, you know, laces on shoes or anything like that. And I know that in Andor, because I was looking into it when I was trying to make a Star Wars project one time, that in Andor, the shoes in on Andor, they're like they still are like old, I think I want to say like Vietnam era shoes or something like that. I remember it being something similar to that, old military shoes, because I mean that's just what Star Wars is built on, military surplus items, because that's just, you know, what was available at the time when they were making Star Wars. But I know that in Andor they have some old, you know, military boots for their things. This is cool. We'll say that mechanical. But they ooh, this is cool. Connector. You definitely need something for ports. But I like these, so we'll sort it out later. But yeah, like in Andor, you can go and look at the boots, and they still are old military boots, which, you know, are gonna have laces, but they used these like boot lace covers that I think are also military things too. But that's how they got around, you know, still having that Star Wars aesthetic, that old, you know, rebel aesthetic especially, but still hid the laces, because Star Wars just isn't supposed to have like laces. It's just, you know, it's just was one of the rules. And like I said, like I think it's gotten more loose as things have gone on. Disney's done its own thing. It's a bunch of different shows now, a bunch of different animated episodes. So it just starts to drift a little bit, which is also fine to a certain degree too, because you have you have to kind of branch out a little bit, especially if you're dealing with like a galaxy-sized, setting or whatever. Like different cultures and things like that have to have different different sorts of styles and things like that. But yeah, generally that was the rule for stuff like that, which I thought was really cool. And then not something I even realized, but something I probably subconsciously realized when, uh, you know, watching the shows and things like that and the movies. And so you sort of subconsciously that, oh, when something doesn't fit, you kind of feel like, oh, hey, something about this doesn't feel Star Wars or whatever, and which might not necessarily know why. And sometimes that's all it was, is just that, you're not used to seeing like buttons in Star Wars or something like that. Like buttons on your clothes, not buttons in technology, because Star Wars does have a lot of tech buttons. They definitely have that more of that tactileness to them. Okay, I like these connectors. I like this as like a connector for more, like a split connector for like hydraulic fluid and stuff like that. I think that's cool. Like I can use that in my model too. Nothing else here that's super. This is kind of cool actually. Let me go ahead and see. I like this tubing right here. I think that's kind of cool. I like the little segments on that. I think that's interesting. I haven't really seen that in much. I can definitely see maybe a use for something like that. I like things like this. I just think that they get a little too busy to feel like they're like, oh, this whole thing is cool as a whole, but I think it's too busy to really like I'm like, which part do I like? And if I zoom, or if I like actually expand it, is it expanded high quality enough to actually get in there and see enough? It's not bad, but I mean, I don't think it's anything. I do like the wrap around the installation. Maybe that's kind of cool. The orange ties are cool. All right, I'm convinced. I'll take it. But I think stuff like this sometimes they just get too busy. Like, it's cool. It's cool as a whole, but I think it's more useful to have stuff sometimes that's a little bit more like a little more zoomed in and specific, because otherwise it's not as useful. Well, I like this for fireflies. Yeah, we can put that in that one. I see now we're starting to get into more. We kind of veered off of real references and gotten more into actually, art design stuff. This is kind of cool too. Sometimes it's good, but then you're getting more art design. It's not what I necessarily want right now. I will take that though. Something about these hinges feel cool. Okay, cool. Move on from that. Let's see these connectors. This is chassis wise is cooler. This is cool. I like that for some reason. Connector. I think I like the little tags on it. That feels interesting. Chassis wise, that's cool. I'll take that. Oop, there go my dogs. Cool. Chassis wise, that's cool. Cool, okay. Chassis wise, that's cool. Okay, cool. We got that. That's kind of cool, but I'm not sold on it. Okay, do we get rid of all this stuff? Oh, this is cool. We'll have to really get some good fasteners and stuff like that. And it's cool for something that's going to be moving. Sometimes it needs to be open or something like that. I think that is like a cool, lever and stuff like that. I think that's cool. These are cool from a more mechanical, like engine standpoint. Being a little more rugged. I like that. I'll take it. For connectors. Cool. This is kind of cool too. I like this tubing on it, I think. And maybe the insulation around too. I I can do that. I think that's cool. This is chip stuff. We'll go back to. I like the iridescence on this. Refresh. Chip. Cool. Nothing else in here is too. What's this? Modem with a tiny mirror. Worth looking at. What is this? Cooled crystal kept iridium atom stable enough to force interaction while the mirrors bounced infrared photons around. Okay. I like this for a port design, I think. We will go, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this into my thing. Let's make up just a new area of ports. Just to keep it something in there. I'll keep that one as a port. I like that design. I like the little glass piece of it. Feels like something's going through. Quantum physics again. Just looks cool, but we'll just put that in connectors. I feel like that could be an interesting connector. Nothing else on there. Cool for me. Like those connector pieces there, like this. Okay, we'll put this in connectors. Cool. Dig that. Is there anything in here that's really feeling like we need to pull it in? Nope. Okay. This is from the very beginning. Barely getting through this. Okay. Okay, I like these. I like this tubing, and I think these ports right here are kind of cool. Yeah, I like the little caps over them. I like the tubing, how thick it is, and I do like the color as well. These look almost like fluids of some kind of or something like that they're attaching to here. Okay, we will take that. Connectors. I think there's something there. These, we will take these for the connectors. I think these are technically the same chips. I saw those in that first thing, but yeah, I'll take these. So we'll take that. I just maybe this. What is this? Transparent tubes. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Connectors. Oh, it's like pneumatic tubes for sending stuff. Okay, that's not bad. We can do that. We'll take this one as well, and then I want to check this one out a little bit more. That's kind of cool. Vacuum tubes, maybe. Connectors, yeah. Okay. Like air ducts, maybe. Okay, that's cool. I did also want to see this. Sure. Oh, okay. With more art stuff. That's okay. We don't need that. For connectors, I think I like the insulation on those. Nothing too crazy. Cool. This one I will go ahead and take these for just kind of that old IT IT wiring and that really organized wire cabling, cable management. There you go. That's what I was looking for. I think it's cool. I think it's something that you could put in a character that's, you know, very like in Cyberpunk Netwatch. I think makes sense that they would have like cabling like this, that really, you know, cable management IT style. I think it's cool. Different vibe though, for sure. Like it's like you're not gonna have this on like, you know, a Merc or something like that. You would have this on like a Corp. That is specifically, like, I would say more in an organized infrastructure. I think that's cool. Like this. This is a mess. Like this feels like more like, you know, ad hoc, which I like a little bit too, but I don't know if it's anything significant. Besides vibe. This, we're gonna go ahead and take this, even though these are nasty. So cool just to have just massive amount of, oh, I like this. I like the vibe of this. I don't know how to explain it. I like the vibe. But yeah, to have these like nasty amounts of like rat's nest cabling, not this one. Anything interesting? Nothing interesting. Look at this. Too blurry. But yeah, to have these like nasty amounts of like rat's nest cabling all going to the power line is dope. It's gotta be bad, but it is cool. I mean, even Japan, I went to Japan, like theirs isn't as bad. I think this looks more like Japan style. There's just so much going into these towers. It's insane. That's insane. Cool though, like from an art standpoint. Okay, this is ArtStation. ArtStation is good. And it's definitely like the next source I like to go to with like artists that have completed works on there. But for this, I don't think so. What about this? Okay, I like it from a mechanical point of view. It's cool. I like this little bit right here. I think that's cool. I will take it purely for that. I like that. Yeah, okay, we'll take it for that. Let's see what else we got. Cool. I like these just from a purely like, they're definitely more like automotive sort of looking cables. I think probably some for some fluids and things like that. I do like that though, for just having those different types of connectors. That reference and stuff like that is cool. I think this is cool for like a housing, not housing, a port thing maybe, not for like an individual port, but like, you know, for like a not a relay block, but just like some sort of multi-port connector for some sort of like fluid or something like that. I think that's cool. What would you call that? What is this? That's cool. I like that. I like the way it's rooted here. I don't think I've seen something like that. Okay, cool. I like that. I don't know what this is. What is this? Roundabout 4? What is this? Is this a thing? Roundabout 4 dimensions. Options, more challenging. Oh, weird. Alright, well, we'll look into this. Certain stuff. This is connectors. These are different ports. I like that. Okay, not to get too carried away. We don't get too carried away with more, and I just want to make one more pivot before we end this, so I don't want to get too carried away. Even though, what's this? This looks like a prop piece for something. Cool, but not something. Actually, you know what? I like these sides on the. I can see a port. Okay, we're gonna keep that with connectors. I like that on the sides. I think this cabling in between is cool too. Okay, I'll take that. Yeah, I like that. I like this little routing piece right here. I think this is really cool. I think we can take that for something. They're getting more into vehicle stuff, which is kind of a place to be for some of this stuff. This is cool. We'll take it. I don't know if I'd use that to make the final cut, but I would take it for something. Connectors, we've done that. Cool. Fine with that. We'll take this. This is kind of just a regular way that it roots in, which is kind of cool. Power stuff. Take that too. Just general stuff. Wires. I feel like we have enough of that already. I just want to do clutch ports, I think. I noticed that clutches have some cool port designs. Yeah. So let's say content. Cool. We want to see if we can put this into connectors. Yeah. So like this one's a cool one too. Like that's cool. But yeah, the clutch, I don't know, clutch port or whatever it is, I think is a very cool design that I stumbled upon the other day that I would probably use to kind of build some more references for like, you know, these are like hero ports for maybe like connecting a cybernetic limb or something like that into a piece on an arm or something. I think this would kind of be the direction I would maybe go into, because I like these outward lines and irises and things like that that seem to be created there, like this also. If you connector, that's kind of cool. I think something like that maybe too. Connector like that. That's cool. And this is cool. I think maybe something like that. We can bring that in. Cool. And then I think the only other one maybe I want to get is camera iris attachment point. Iris lens attachment points. What's it called? Oh, I forgot the name for it. Launch point name. Diaphragm. Bayonet. That's what it's called. I remember it had a cool name. Bayonet. Bayonet. Mount. Whatever, bayonet. Let's do bayonet mount. Is that better? Just do bayonet. Okay. Yeah, so for this, these are something that I would also kind of maybe like to use for, you know, attachment points for a, you know, something like a limb or something like that. Again, because I like that it has almost that screwing mechanism to it. I think that's kind of cool. These mount points I think are cool. Yeah, this is less of a electronic connection point. This is just more of a I think you would be more of a, like, you know, physical mounting point. I like this one a lot. I think that looks cool. Maybe we can go from this one into something that's a little bit more like maybe like this, I think. Oops, don't want to do that. Nope. Where did it go? This one, yeah. Because I like that it has a little electronic piece there, so maybe if we get something that has a little bit more electronic piece, is it to it? Oh, this is kind of cool. So we can take this one and then we go a little bit further in. And something like this feels like it's getting a little bit closer to what I'm looking for. See, it has those little electronic contact points there. Maybe we have two here. We have this one and this one. Let's do both. Let's see what we got. This is cool. I like that it has it kind of built in there. So we'll take that. See if it leads us anywhere good. So I like this one just because. We'll continue down the path this way for this one. Yeah, we'll continue down the path this way with this one. This is kind of cool. Not something that we were looking for, but this is kind of cool. Let's go down a path just to get, you know, any other stuff from this thing. This is kind of interesting. Something that's a little bit more bladed almost. Maybe that's how it interlocks in. Like it doesn't interlock directly, and it kind of interlocks with this weird bladed kind of system. That might be kind of cool for something. We'll take this. Take this. I think maybe that's for as far as this one gets us on this down this path. But that bladed design is kind of interesting. Cool. Okay, I'll take that. And then this one, I like this one just from as a connector. I like the look of it. I like the simplicity of it. I think that's kind of one of its strong points. And then this is cool. So we're gonna go down this way. This is a Nyan aesthetic too. I'm gonna keep it as a port. We'll keep it as a connector. Continue down that path. And okay, now we're starting to get into more camera stuff. I don't want to get too into camera stuff. We'll keep this one maybe. This one still looks kind of like a port. And I think we're fully locked into cameras now. I think that one really took us. This last few took us into cameras, which is okay. Maybe we can get something just a little bit more interesting. And one more thing. Record player is cool for something else, but I think that is gonna be as far as we can get with this method. Yep, I think that took us to the end. I'm not seeing anything else, and that is the end of my things too. So we created a few boards, which is cool. Now hopefully my home page will start to propagate with a little bit more interesting items now. Maybe something more related in the next few days or so. Probably should I get some better stuff for some of the for some of the stuff I've been looking at, so they get some better ideas. Even already the front page has kind of got some interesting things, so got sidetracked, not 100% what I'm looking for, but I think there's definitely some interesting stuff that I can play around with, some new ideas that I wasn't expecting to find in here that I found. I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm happy with this. I'll next, on my free time, my own time, I'll work on my reference board and things like that to help build that. But I think there's some cool stuff. I think we found some cool stuff. I think this is a cool, I think it's cool just to share the way I do this and kind of go down this little rabbit hole. Because yeah, you can definitely get some cool things with this. And this is just kind of also helps to talk through and work out the different ideas that are going through. I think I definitely need to find some more interesting connector points for like more, they feel more organic somehow. Not entirely sure what that's going to look like yet, but I think that's definitely something I want to explore. But yeah, this is kind of just, quickly kind of going through this. Didn't have too much time today, so I want to do something quick to get this, going for the, get this going on the, for the week. So we didn't not do it this week because I did skip yesterday. So yeah, nothing too fancy, just some research stuff and some stuff I probably gotta, after this, need to go organize my board, my real PureRef board, and then actually go through and start drawing take some of these concepts and ideas and stuff and draw them out, so we can build some more stuff, to either build just to use in other places, or build to use specifically in like the cyber arm that I'm working on. But yeah, that should be it for today. Quick one, just a chill sesh. It's gonna go through things, but yeah, thanks everybody.